Why, hello there, my lady. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fedorangs, and today we're gonna be continuing a video that I made back during last year's Halloween. We're gonna continue the Let's Read series of the book by Aaron Rambo, The Werewolf, The Librarian, and I. Possibly the worst book ever written. The reason why I'm doing this is because one of my friends, my IRL friends out in the real world, Iggy, it's her birthday today, and she badly wanted me to continue this series, so I'm going to read a couple more chapters. Maybe I'll read the whole thing. This isn't a very long book, but each chapter does kind of feel like eternal agony just because of how this book is written. So if you haven't watched it, I'll throw a link in the video description. You can go back and watch the first two chapters if you want to, subject yourself to that. It follows a weird woman by the name of Aurora, who one day becomes a werewolf. But she works at a library with a lot of weird people that are sort of like half animal, half people. This book is just a mess. I really don't know how to even begin to describe it. So we've been past the two first chapters right now. So basically where we left off, Aurora just received a letter from a mysterious admirer. Also known as a stalker, but, you know, she calls him the mysterious admirer. And he sent her a letter saying that he has to meet her. And it's pretty much implied that this guy might be a werewolf. I'm not really sure. That's what I'm guessing at the very least. And she just turned into a werewolf and she's been running around doing stuff. This book doesn't really have a coherent plot at all. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us jump into chapter 3 of Let's Read The Werewolf, The Librarian, and I. Chapter 3. A few days went by from when I got the letter from who I dubbed the blood type O+ weirdo stalker. I was thinking about shortening it, but I couldn't think of anything to shorten it to. I was sitting at the desk at work trying to think of something good to shorten the name to when a bat came in. The bat was blue with a pinkish stripe on the tip of its wings. I really didn't think anything of him. I was too engrossed in thinking of stalker names. He lifted his hand and waved at me. That's when I noticed he was wearing boxers. Honestly, I would not think that was anything out of the ordinary, except he was only wearing boxers and nothing else. Bats are not the smartest of animals. Great to use for night vision, for spying on your husband, to make sure he is not cheating on you. But horrible to use as a fashion designer. I just let the man go on his way. I wanted to go back to my stalker name picking, but something about this bat intrigued me. I just kept watching him. I watched him pick out a DVD from our special selections, which are the brand new movies that just came out on DVD. We have to keep them up front because patrons have a tendency of stealing them. He chose Iron Man 2, and then he walked to our other DVDs, which are all the way in the back and to the right. When he came back, he had about 15 different DVDs. He set them on the counter by the self-check. I watched him out of the corner of my eye and noticed him read the back of each one, then pick them up and head to the door. "Sir? Sir, you have to check them out," I said. He walked over to me with his 16 DVDs and said to me without blinking an eye, "These are mine. I brought them in with me." I sat there and did all I could do not to laugh. "Sir, I was sitting there when you came in. You did not have those, and they have the library stickers on them, so would you like me to check those out for you?" I asked again. He smiled at me and gave me an "Oh shit, I have been caught" look. At that very moment I knew he was going to bolt. I just wasn't ready for him to bolt towards the ceiling, and that's exactly where he went. Up. "Sir, please come down. Honestly, we are not going to beat you for trying to steal our DVDs. We will try to get you a library card so you can check them out," I said. He looked at me. "Liar!" Honestly, I don't get paid enough for this, I thought to myself. Then Tear came walking over. "I'll get the little shit down," she said as she spread her wings and flew up next to him. She grabbed him in a chokehold and brought him back down to the ground with a body slam. "Dude, you totally need to stop watching so much wrestling," I said. She gave me a wink and kicked him in the leg. "Nah, this is more fun," she said. Our security guard then grabbed him by the throat and dragged him back to the back room, where he barked orders about at him for about an hour. Stay serious, Mangs. Explaining our policies and consequences. I just sat up at the front desk, thanking God that it wasn't my job. I waited for Tyr to return to the front desk, then asked her to reshelve all the DVDs the bat had tried to take. With a rear up on her hind legs to show she wasn't happy, she took the DVDs and walked to the back and turned right. That night, when I finally got home, I noticed that there was a red rose on my doorstep. I looked around and smelled the air. FYI, that was one of the great things about being a werewolf. My 5 senses are heightened to new levels of coolness. I could smell things 20 miles away, see things magnetized 10 miles away, feel things with a new hand. I could feel something once and tell you every fiber in it. I could taste every little spice that was in something I ate, and hear things that were up 25 miles away. I loved it! So when I smelled the air this time, I smelled a men's cologne, an apple and cinnamon candle. My senses were so good I could smell the wax from the candle. I stood there and determined from the strength of the smell how long ago the rose had been left. I came to the conclusion it was about an hour ago. I could follow the scent and find this secret admirer and find out where he lived. Or I could wait and see where this trail took me. I decided to wait. I wanted the thrill of this hunt to go as far as I could take it. I walked into the house and found Carrie with a whole roasted chicken in her mouth. Considering not long ago I had eaten 5 live chickens, I didn't regurgitate my lunch. What are you doing? I asked as I walked around her. Nothing, she said, which actually sounded like because her mouth was full of chicken. Then why is there a whole roasted chicken in your mouth? I asked her. She gave me a, oh crap, I have been caught, I better think up a lie quick look. Then sighed, and I got a, fine, I'll tell you look. She slowly took the chicken out of her mouth. I didn't recorder my pills on time. I think she misspelled reorder. She spelled it recorder. So I am craving human blood. This is the closest thing to a dead human, she said. No, human bodies are more similar to pigs than chickens. You were human once. You should know that, I said. Really? She asked in surprise. Yeah. Why did you ever think we were more similar to chickens? I asked. 'Cause you both produce eggs for fertilization. Humans are just done inside their bodies, she said, trying to sound like a school teacher. Wow, you're an idiot, I said. Then we walked into my bedroom, where, of course, another issue was sitting on my bed. Hello, Seben. What's going on with you? I asked, already knowing from the red in his face that he was pissed off. Did you chew up my left shoe? You know, the good shoes? You know, the one with the leather straps and the black buckle? He demanded to know. No, why would I chew up your shoes? I asked. Hello, you're the only dog-like animal in this house, he stated. I contemplated this. I am a werewolf, and it is possible that during my last transformation I saw his shoes and remembered a time he pissed me off. Which is always. And chewed it up out of spite. Which, FYI, I would totally do! No, I would never chew up one of your beloved shoes, I said, lying out of my very sharp K9s. She writes it K9s, so stupid. What about when you go werewolf? Would you do it then? He asked. Never! I don't go off chewing up other people's shoes. I am not a dog, you know, I stated plainly. He gave me a whatever look. Fine, just keep an eye out for any wild animals about that might be after my shoes, he said, and then he marched out of my room. I licked my teeth and pulled out something that was stuck between them. It had been bothering me for days. I pulled it out. It was a piece of black leather. Oops! I lay in my bed that night and thought of my secret admirer. I wanted to know more about him, but the thrill of the hunt thrilled me more. I laid there and thought of what he might look like. The perfect man. Well, my version of the perfect man. Robert Downey Jr. body, like the one in Iron Man. And his little free spirit attitude. His nice and secret life of Iron Man and Tony Stark's. Then the brains of Sherlock Holmes. Does a man exist? Does this uber sexy, smart, sophisticated man of my dreams exists? No, he did not! My secret admirer at the moment was thinking of me as well. His rugged features and calloused hands were no Robert Downey Jr., but his heart was in the right place. He saw this woman he had met only once as a beauty and wanted to know more about her, but the other half of him, his darker half, didn't think she was a good idea. He could kill her with one snap of his wrist, but he was so tired of being alone, every night laying there with no one beside him, night after night. He chose her from about 1,000 of women he had been watching. Why this came to light, and why now, he wasn't sure. He had seen her little bar, he saw her, but thought nothing of it. Why now? What had changed? She seemed different somehow. He followed her home one night. He kept to the shadows. She never knew he was there. That was the first night he knew for sure. She was the one he wanted. But would she want him back? Would she stay with him? If she ever found out about his dark side? Steady, old man, steady. You have to get into the relationship before you fear losing it, he said to himself. Chapter 4. You know, I never told anyone this before, but I have always wanted to be a stripper. But the scars I had received last night has me thinking, no! Before I get ahead of myself, let me tell you how my night ended up with me getting my butt smelled, and the scars that is now preventing me from pursuing my lifelong dream of becoming a stripper. I got off work at 6 p.m., which was plenty of time. The sun was still up and it gave me time. I can now go home and change and get ready for transformation tonight. Tonight would be the first full moon of the month, and I was not about to rip up my good clothes like before. Yeah, a pair of $150 boots. Down the drain. And as I learned, stores do not guarantee money back on werewolf transformation damage. So I got home and surprisingly enough, Carrie was not eating. Of course she was asleep, the only time she doesn't eat. But that's neither here nor there. I just went by her and went into my room. I changed into my ripped and torn old clothes. I then went outside and jogged to the park with the lovely trees down the street. I started jogging and noticed behind me a man was following me. I circled the block 3 times to make sure, and sure enough he was following me, or he had a bum leg. I jogged into the park and hid behind one of the trees. The man was going to get one hell of a surprise come sundown. As the sun went down, my body transformed into the werewolf I was becoming very familiar with. My fur was black with a streak of red on my back. The red streak can only be seen in the moonlight. This was kind of ironic because my hair is brown except the sunlight. Then it is red. So I stood there and sniffed the air. I smelled another werewolf? I looked around and then out of the corner of my eye I saw him. He was gray and rugged. He was about 2 feet taller than me and looked like he could take on the entire San Diego Chargers. He walked over to me and my first thought was to bolt, but as he walked up to me his demeanor was calm, so I stayed. When he was face to face with me he sniffed my face, then my chest, then my feet. Then he walked behind me and sniffed my hiney. This was unacceptable! I turned around and in one swift movement I smacked him across the face, leaving a large gash in his face from my fingernails. He got angry and jumped up to pounce on me, but I moved the other way and he fell to the ground. He jumped again and caught me this time, taking me to the ground. We hustled, scratching and clawing at each other. I wrestled free and stood up. Then I ran towards him, and at the last moment, he reached a hand out, and me being the idiot I am, ran right into it. I was knocked out for a second or two, but that was enough time for him to get on top of me. He was about to bite me and prove dominance, when he looked into my eyes, and I saw his face change to a look of familiarity. He got off me and took off to the east. Honestly, just a note to all werewolves out there, I am not the one who wants to play the hiney sniffing games. Oh, and to you aliens, I don't want to play the anal probing games either. I would be changing the next night as well. I just hope that this night wouldn't be more boring and less full of idiots. And less full of werewolves like the last one I had dubbed the hiney sniffer. And lo and behold, it was. I spent the entire night eating out of people's garage cans, and I am pretty sure I ate someone's flip-flop. And from the phone call I received this morning, they were my mother's. Now, FYI, I have not told her I am a werewolf yet. So when she called, I wasn't surprised. "Hello, Mother," I said after looking at the caller ID on my cell phone. "Aurora, we have 2 serious problems," she said. "Really? And what are these problems?" I asked her. "I have a stalker," she said. I started laughing. Apparently, she didn't think it was very funny. "This is not a laughing matter. I left my flip-flops outside last night and someone destroyed them," she said. "So someone destroyed your shoes? What makes you think someone is stalking you because of it?" I asked her. "They always start out that way. A stalker steals your shoes and then sniffs them while he is away from you," she said. "But then why destroy them?" I asked, a little lost in her logic. "Duh, because then, when he gets caught by the cops, he can say he didn't take them with him because he honestly didn't. He left pieces of them behind," she said. I started laughing so hard I thought I might pee myself. "Fine, goodbye, Aurora," she said. "Hang on, you said you had 2 serious problems. What's the other one?" I asked. "Oh, the stalker only destroyed my left shoe," she said. "Oh crap," I said out loud. "I like to chew up people's left shoes. Great, now people are going to find out and start calling me Lefty. That's just great," I thought to myself. "What?" my mom said. For a moment there, I completely forgot I was on the phone. "Nothing. Hey, when are Dewar and Lewin going to be at your house? I have something I want to tell everyone," I asked. "They will be here this weekend for my birthday party. Remember? You didn't forget, did you?" she asked, accusingly. "Forget? Never," I said. Yeah, I totally forgot. I think she thought that. She didn't say that. I'm not really sure. I don't think she understands how you write a book. "I just didn't know if everyone was coming or not," I lied. "Yes, even your brothers Dakin and Sturbin are coming," she said. "Okay, Dakin and Sturbin are my brothers, Dewar's friends. They liked our family so much that they latched themselves on and didn't let go." "Okay, I will see you guys then," I said. "Okay, I'll see you then. Love you, bye," she said. "Love you too, bye," I said, and then hung up on the phone. Needless to say, I owe my mother a pair of flip-flops. Apparently, I like to chew up shoes. Well, only the left shoes. Well, if my only flaw of being a werewolf is chewing up people's left shoes, leaving them to forever walk around in circles, I think I can deal with that. Chapter 5. Ya. I don't know why she puts in ya everywhere. I can't really explain how she uses this word, but she puts it in front of sentences, and I don't really understand in what context, but the sentence looks like this. "Yeah, my day totally started off like shit and just got worse. I awoke to a banging on my door. 'Aurora, are you in there?' Seben yelled. To my amazement, I was. I couldn't remember where I was for a second. 'Yes, what do you want?' I yelled back. Without waiting for an invite to come in, he stormed in. 'What have you done?' he yelled. 'What are you blathering on about?' I asked. 'My blue flip-flops that my mom sent me from Thailand.'" she spells it Thailand. "The left one is missing," he said. "And why do you think I stole your left flip-flop?" I asked him. Is this seriously all this book is about? Like, I swear to God, we're fucking 5 chapters into the story, and the only thing that happens is that she chews up shoes. "Why do you think I stole your left flip-flop?" I asked him. "No, I don't think you stole it. I think you ate it," he said. "Okay, first of all, I don't eat shoes." "Yeah." She did it again. "I am a total liar. 2, I already told you, I would never eat your shoes," I said. "Yeah, I am totally going to hell for lying." "Okay, let's look at the facts. Both of my left shoes are missing." 2, all that's left of one of them is little blue bits trailing to your bedroom. 3, you transformed last night. And 4, you still have little nits of the shoes hanging out of your mouth, he yelled. I wiped my mouth and a piece of blue rubber came off. I didn't know what to say. Sorry? I sort of half-assed apologized. What your, sorry? He mocked me. Yes, I am sorry I ate your shoes. It was an accident, I said. No, it wasn't. If it was, you wouldn't only eat mine. Carrie leaves every shoe she ever owned out there, and you never nibble hers. I have one pair out, and they get it eaten. What the hell, Arurarara? He asked. I don't know what to tell you. I like to eat your shoes, I said. No, you like to destroy my shoes, he said. Look, I said I'm sorry. What more do you want from me, I asked. A new pair of shoes, he said. Just call your mommy and tell her to send you another pair, I said. He got up and walked to the door, turned back and looked at me. Go to hell, he said, then walked out. I felt totally bad. I had been eating his shoes lately, but still, I could not control it, and honestly, if it was shoes or humans, I would choose shoes anytime. He just didn't see it that way. He only saw that I was destroying something of his. Technically you are, you dumb bitch. Well, I decided, since I was already awake, that I would get up. Carrie was on the couch eating cereal. Okay, now you know those big bowls that are used to hand out candy for the trick-or-treaters at Halloween time? The big, large, gigantic plastic bowls? Yeah, she had her cereal in one of those. Good morning, I said. I walked by her. She said nothing. Good morning, I said louder. Still nothing. I ran over and jumped on her. Goo was all I was able to get out, because when I jumped on top of her, her stomach was like a trampoline, and when I hit it, I bounced right back out and into the wall. I didn't remember anything else until I awoke a few hours later with Seban looking over me. Hey, you, how are you feeling? He asked. I looked up and my vision was a bit off. No, wait, my vision wasn't off, it was completely out of alignment. My left eye was looking at him and my right eye was looking at a poster on the wall. Oh my god, I screamed. What the hell is going on? I asked with my panic in my voice. It's alright, he said, trying to use his calming voice. Like puppies, it's not alright. I can see two separate things at the same time, I yelled. Aurora, calm down, Jez, he yelled. I think she meant jeez. She spelled it. Jess. I looked at him. Listen, after you decided to hop on pop, he said, using quotation fingers and pointing at Carrie while laughing. You were slammed into the wall, your eye came out of its socket and was dislodged. We had the ambulance guys come over and fix it. They were going to take you to the hospital, but you kicked them when they tried to take you out of the house, so they had a doctor come over here. He was able to put your eye back in, but he can't fix the roaming of it. He said since you have werewolf blood, it will heal itself, so just give it time, he said. Sorry I ate your shoes, I said. It's okay, I hated them anyway, he said with a smile. I smiled back. He turned around and pulled out a little plastic bag of dog biscuits. Hey, who wants a treaty? Who wants a treaty? He said in his cute, annoying voice. I smiled and said, I do, I do. I called in sick to work. It was Thursday, and the thought of having to deal with work and multiple people asking me why my eye was roaming was not something I wanted to deal with today. After I got up and roamed the house, turned out I would rather be at work. So I went in, I showed everyone what happened, and they asked if I was okay and if I thought I should be at home. I said no, just let me work in the back away from the public and I would be good. They gave me some books to discharge and put in order on the charts. I sat there and did it for about 2 hours when I started to get chocolate cravings. I went up front and grabbed 2 pieces of chocolate candies because we are still doing that federal study on chocolate on librarians. And I forgot to eat one at the beginning of the first hour. I opened it and ate it. As I chewed, I noticed my taste senses becoming aware of each and every flavor. I could taste the rich cocoa beans, the rocky sugar cane, the silky milk and some vegetable oil and something I could only define as grass? Grass? What the? That was odd. I smelled the other one. The smell of grass was there. Not very strong, very slight, but still there. I went back up front and smelled the rest of the candies. I got the same scent. I was the only one here with a very heightened sense of taste and smell, so no one could smell or taste what I could. I walked into Kathy's office. "Hey, I just ate some of this chocolate and it tastes really funny," I said. "What do you mean?" she asked. "Like grass," I said. She gave me a got to be kidding look. "I am not kidding. You need to have it sent out and tested," I said. "Uh-huh, that's going to happen," she said sarcastically. "Fine, never mind," I said, then left her office. I then went looking for Hellzone. I found him sitting in the back and talking to a patron about running. The young patron, the age of about 5 or 6, was doing everything he could not to pee himself. "Hellzone, can I talk to you?" I asked. He looked over at me. "Sure, give me a second," he said. He then scolded the boy again and let him go. "So what's on your mind?" he asked as he walked over to me. "I think these chocolates taste funny. Can you have them sent out to be tested?" I asked. "Sure, I still have friends that work in the police department. I can ask to do it," he said. "Cool, thanks. They just taste really odd, and I think there is something wrong with them. I'd rather be safe than sorry," I said. "I understand. I'll send them out the day before my lunch break, and hopefully we will hear something back before dinner," he said. "Okay, sounds good," I said. At 1 o'clock, I went home, and both Carrie and Seban were gone. I sat there contemplating that coolness that was me, when there was a knock on the door. I opened it. There, before me stood a man. He was probably about 37 or 38, dark brown hair and green eyes. Beautiful green eyes. "Can I help you?" I asked. "Sorry to bother you, ma'am, but this was delivered to my door this afternoon by accident. I believe they are for you," he said. In his hand was a glass vase. It was full of roses. They were white and red, arranged so that the white were on the outside and the red on the inside formed a heart. My entire face lit up and I smiled. "They are absolutely beautiful," I said in excitement. "Yes, they are," he said. I looked up and noticed that he was looking at me, not the flowers. I smiled. "Thank you," I said. He smiled and walked away. I opened the card that was with the flowers. "You have stolen my heart with the scent of your beauty. You excite me, and I wish to know you." That was it. Not, "Hey, let's meet," or "Hey, let's call one another." No, nothing. Just those few beautiful, simple words. It was a game of cat and mouse, and unfortunately, I was losing. I hate being the mouse. I plopped down on the couch after setting the roses on the table and stared at them. I loved them. I went to work the next day only to find 5 police cars out front and police officers everywhere. I walked in and saw Catherine. "Dude, what's going on?" I asked. Without looking at me, she said, "I'm not sure, but I do know they are looking for Aurora." "Catherine," I said. "What?" she said, annoyed as she turned and looked at me. "Oh my god, everyone is looking for you. You need to find Hellzone. Now," she said. So I set out to find Hellzone. I found him in front of the information desk. He pulled me aside. "Hey, we got the results back from the chocolate. That grassy taste you tasted was pot," he said. "Oh my goodness, seriously?" I asked. "Yes, apparently the government wasn't testing the effects of chocolate on librarians. They were testing the effects of pot on librarians, seeing as it was a stress releaser. You, having the sensitive palate you do, you tasted it. The police are here, and they want to know why it is that you, above everyone else, why were you able to taste it and no one else was? I haven't told them that you are a werewolf, but your sensitive palate saved us, Aurora. Thank you," he said. "It was nothing. Just another day's work for the library's police dog," I said. He laughed, considering he was the library's police dog. My day after that got better, until I remembered I had to go to my mom tomorrow for her birthday party. Yeah, I was totally dreading that. This plot makes no sense. Saturday morning I awoke to a beautiful sunny day. The sky was blue, the sun was shining, the birds were chirping. I was happy. Then I remembered today was the day I tell my family about my lovely curse. I so did not want to, but it had to be done. I dragged myself out of my bed and plopped myself into the bathtub and turned the water on. This was a stupid idea because with our water you have to let it heat up or you could get cold water. I ran out of my bathroom screaming my head off. You know, if I heard a neighbor, roommate, or friend screaming, I would be like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" But my two roommates did absolutely nothing! I was uber annoyed. I went back into the bathroom and checked the water. It was hot. I took a nice hot bath, and after almost drowning myself by accident because I didn't turn the water off and the tub filled up to full, I got out and dried off. I put on my sexiest clothes because I like to look hot when I am telling everyone I am a werewolf. Then I put in my eyes, my contacts, and put on some makeup. I took a couple of steps back from my stand-up mirror, and all I can say is, "Damn, I look good." I walked out of my car and saw the guy who had brought me my flowers from the day before. I waved at him. He stared at me, and then he walked back into his house. Okay, so guy is either A, creepy, B, insane, C, gay, because honey, I look good. I drove out of my mom's, and as I exited the car, I saw... She's writing it excited the car instead of exited. I saw Dakin, Sturban, Syria, really? Her friend is named Syria. Nama, and my mom and dad. I was a little offended on telling them the truth about me being a werewolf because I grew up in a normal household and now I don't know. This would change everything. Would they fear me because I could kill them if I got mad? Or would they disown me for the same reason? One knows on one's family and loves them. But people have a tendency to surprise you whether they are family or not, so I walked over and hugged my mother. "Happy birthday," I said. She smiled at me. "Thank you," she said. I sat down next to one of my most bestest friend in the entire world, Syria. She smiled. "It's good to finally see you again," she said. Me and Syria hadn't seen each other since I had gotten the curse. In fact, me and my family had hardly been around each other since then. I was afraid I would hurt them, so I stayed anyway. Mind you, it had only been 4 months, but still, they didn't understand because I never told them. But that was about to change. Syria was a Night Naginis. Her mother was a Nagina, which is half human, half snake. They resemble a human from the waist up and a snake from the waist down. God, this is a long chapter. They are very colorful. Syria was a light shade of aquamarine from her tip of her tail. As it went up, the color darkened. When it reached the top, it turned dark blue. Her father was a night elf. They are warriors, stocky, big ears. Syria got her father's hair, his bright eyes, and my smooth skin. What? That makes no sense. How her father and mother made it is beyond our imagination, and we don't ask. "Thanks, it's nice to see you too, babe," I said. Unfortunately, I call everyone babe. It's a habit I picked up from a movie. "So, we are all dying to hear your news. What is it?" my mother asked. "Oh," I said, "I thought I would have more time to prepare, you know, sit down and listen to everyone talk and read their mood. Then figure out from here how to say it." I don't really know how to say this," I said, stammering over my words. "Well, just said it then," Dakin shouted out. Dakin was an interesting person. He was known as a Sragan, which is part dragon, part zombie. His mother is a Chinese dragon and his father a zombie. When he transformed, he looked like a regular dragon would like. When human, since he got his father's zombie gene. And his mother, he looked human with a grey stripe of dragon scales going up each arm. His hair was fire red and his eyes were pure silver, but other than the human, being a Sragan, Dakin had many wonderful abilities, such as breathing fire when angry. Flying, and interesting enough, the thing he got from his father, the zombie, was being a vegetarian. Brains are a veggie. Who knew? But Dakin also had another ability he got from his grandfather. The ability skips a generation, so Dakin got it. It was the ability to shapeshift. Now, albeit he could only shapeshift from a dragon into a human, but that was good enough for him. It just meant that he could sit inside a restaurant and eat instead of the parking lot and watching through the floor. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. "I am a werewolf," I blurted out. I heard nothing. I opened my eyes and everyone was staring at me as if I had just said a joke. They were all laughing. Sure, Duckin said, and I'm Attila the Hun. Yeah, and I'm the Reaper, Sturban said. Sturban, okay, how to describe Sturban? He was special. He had the same mother as the Keen, the dragon, but a different father. His father was the Grim Reaper. You know how people say if you put two angry people together, you get an angrier person? Wrong! Sturban was very special. He was calm, funny, and had a lot of personality. He loved acting stupid, but he was very intelligent. He just never used his smarts. He got whatever he wanted from his father. Sturban was the only son the Grim Reaper ever had. You see, the Grim Reaper, when he touches you, you die. But Sturban's mother was a dragon and a very tough outer coating that protected her. The Reaper did whatever Sturban asked, so Sturban had no reason to get a job, to do anything, really. It was kind of funny, but his mother made him. Sturban looked normal, except for his skin was transparent, so you could see his bones. It was cool, you could feel his skin and just not see it. That, and when he was bored, he created fire in his hands, but other than that, he was normal. Oh yeah, Sturban said, laughing again. Oh, but seriously, Aurorara, what's the news, my mother said. My mother was human with a touch of gnome, so she always knew when you were lying. My father was human as well, with a touch of giant, which probably why I came out half in between short and tall. That's it, seriously, I'm a werewolf, I said. I believe you, Aurora, Nama said. I know how it feels to have everyone you know not believe you about something, Nama said. Oh, please, Nama. What has everyone ever not believed you about? Duckin said. My pixie dusts, and I can create pixie dusts, Nama said. Nama was a hobbit, her mother a pixie, and her father was a hobbit. She was on about 4.5 feet, long blonde hair, bright blue eyes, and 2 birthmarks of wings on her back. Okay, then show me the dust, Pobbit, Duckin demanded. Nana looked at her hands. This is not about me, it's about Aurora and the fact that she thinks she's a werewolf. Nama pointed at me and sat down. They all looked from Nama to me and started to laugh. Oh yeah, Aurora the werewolf. Ooh, I'm scared, don't eat me, Sturban said sarcastically. This chapter's still not over. Really? Are you going to walk over here, stretch out your claws and scratch my face all up? My brother Devar asked. My brother, coming from a normal home, was at one point in his life a normal human. That was until the accident. He was in a car accident a few years back. It killed him. Sturban didn't want to lose his friend, so he asked his father what to do. The Reaper told him the secret of life. Vampire blood. The blood would revive him. It did, and gave him immortality. But it also gave him really bad gas when he ate any meats raw. I walked over to him, opened my hands as if I was going to slap him, but extended my claws. One of my very few tricks I learned to do as a human. And I swiped it 2 inches in front of his face. I could have scratched your face off, but I didn't, I said. They all looked at me. I was expecting them to all get up and run to their vehicles and leave, but they did something unexpected. They started questioning me about being a werewolf. They wanted to know everything. Does it hurt when you transform? Duckin asked. Can you only extend your claws when human, or can you do other cool things? Devar asked. Do you become male when you're a werewolf? Stebben asked. Everyone stared at him. Spelled stared. What? Duckin asked him. Dude, it's totally possible if she is a transvestite werewolf. It happens, Sturban stated firmly. When does it happen? Duckin asked. In books, Sturban replied. What books? Duckin wanted to know. The one I am writing, Sturban said. Okay, you're an idiot. Anyway, so how did it happen? Duckin asked me. I told them the story about my ex and the love bite. They were all very fascinated. Then I told my mother something she totally did not want to hear. Yeah, I'm the one who ate your left flip-flop. You don't have a stalker, Mom, I said. She looked at me, horrified! I seriously expected her to yell at me for eating her shoe. Aurora, that is just plain rude. I raised you better than that, my mother scolded me. I know, and I'm sorry, I said. You should be. Of course I have a stalker. How rude of you to say I don't, she said. At the moment, I can honestly say I had the dumb look. Anyone who has ever had the dumb look knows exactly what I'm talking about. Anyone who hasn't, well, you don't hang out with the people I hang out with. The rest of the afternoon went off without a hitch. I felt like an entire weight had been lifted off my shoulders that afternoon. It was the best birthday ever. And it wasn't even mine.